Happy Sunday, you guys. It is your girl Michaela Janae here. I know this video is coming out kind of late. Things happen. I had a pretty hectic week, but here we are. Here my Bible is. I have my prayer journal waiting over there. We are going to be going through the book of Ecclesiastes. 4 Sundays. There are 12 numbers in Ecclesiastes, so I will be reading 3 numbers every video. So I'm just going to read through it, tell you guys what I highlighted. I suggest you follow along with your Bible app or with your literal Bible. I'm just gonna read and we're gonna see where this goes. I think this is really fun. I'm gonna let you know how I feel about certain scriptures, so let's hop right into the video. I'm gonna figure out what version Bible this is and I'm gonna put it on the screen. The only reason I don't know is because I've had this Bible since I was a kid and it's in this Bible cover thing, so it's like a teen Bible, I think. I don't know, but let's hop right into it. Number 1, there are words of the teacher. He is son of David, king in Jerusalem. The teacher says, useless, useless, completely useless. All these things are useless. What do people really gain from all hard work that they do on earth? This is getting somewhere good. I'm liking it already. People live and people die, but the earth continues forever. The sun rises and the sun sets. Then it hurries back to the place where it rises again. The wind blows to the south, then it blows to the north. It blows from one direction and then another. Then it turns around and repeats the same pattern, going nowhere. All the rivers flow to the sea, but the sea never becomes full. Everything is boring. Wow, so that little passage right there alone is just telling us how the world is continuously moving and it's continuously in a pattern. It makes you so tired you don't even want to talk about it. Words come again and again to our ears, but we can never hear enough, nor can we really see all we want to see. I highlighted that because that little line, but we can never hear enough, nor can we really see all we want to see. It really is an eye-opener, and it really makes you think about words and the things you're listening to. And the world keeps going on and it's a cycle. For some reason as humans we can't hear enough and we keep wanting to hear more, but really we just need to hear God. That's what I got from it. That's what I got from that. So I definitely highlighted that. All things continue the way they have been since the beginning. The same things will be done that have always been done. There is nothing new here on earth. I highlighted that also because that even can be going into business. Whenever people have a new idea, they say, oh, I don't want to do that because it's already been done. But really, there is nothing that hasn't already been done. God knows that it was meant for you to create that. So what's special about it is that you created it. So the only thing that is new to earth is you, because everything has already been done. That's why I really like that, especially as an entrepreneur. That really spoke to me. A person might say, look, this is new, but really it's always been there. It was here before we were. Right. That makes me think of all the animals and the creatures that are like, this is a new species. None of it's new. God already knew that it was there. It's been there before us, so nothing is new. God created it all. People don't remember what happened long ago. In the future, people will not remember what happens now. And later, other people will not remember what was done before them. And that's saying a lot right there, especially about history. And I recently heard something, and it was where the person was saying that you probably can't name your great-great-grandmother. And I'm like, that's astonishing, because that's your family, that's your flesh and blood, but their name doesn't continue to be carried on. So that's really true. Everything really is forgotten except God. God is the only thing that remains and continues to be carried on. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I decided to use my wisdom. I wanted to learn about everything that happens here on earth. I learned that God has given us terrible things to face here on earth. I looked at everything done here on earth. I saw that it was all a waste of time. It was like chasing the wind. I actually have this highlighted and written down because I feel like most people have a phase in their life when they're chasing the wind. They're looking for something, or they're fighting to get somewhere, or they're fighting for success that isn't for them, so they're chasing the wind. Really, if you're not walking in God's plan, you're chasing the wind. So I feel like this was so important. If something is crooked, you can make it straight. If something is missing, you can't say it is there. I said to myself, I have become very wise. I am now wiser than anyone who ruled Jerusalem before me. I know what wisdom and knowledge really are, so I decided to find out how wisdom and knowledge are better than foolish thinking. I have that highlighted because, right, I want to know. But I learned that trying to become wise is also like chasing the wind. With much wisdom comes much disappointment. The person who gains more knowledge also gains more sorrow. I think that's true because you can know some bad things. So now I'm on 2. I said to myself, I will try having fun. I will enjoy myself. But I found that this is also useless. It is foolish to laugh all the time. Having fun gets nothing done. All the partying gets nothing done. That's a word right there. I decided to cheer myself up with wine. At the same time, my mind was still thinking wisely. I wanted to find a way to enjoy myself. I wanted to see what was good for people to do during their few days of life. I have that highlighted because once again, I want to see how that's answered. Then I did great things. I built houses and planted vineyards for myself. I planted gardens and I made parks. I planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made pools of water for myself, and I used them to water my growing trees. I brought men and women slaves. Slaves were also born in my house. I had large herds of cattle and flocks of sheep. I had more than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I also gathered silver and gold for myself. I took treasures from kings and other areas. I had men and women singers. I had all the wives a man could ever want. I have become very famous. I was greater than anyone who lived in Jerusalem before me. My wisdom helped me in all of this. Anything I saw and wanted, I got for myself. I did not miss any pleasure I desired. I was pleased with everything I did, and this pleasure was a reward for all my hard work. But then I looked at what I had done. I thought about all the hard work. Suddenly I realized it was just a waste of time, like chasing the wind. So basically, he was someone that was rich, had it all. He was famous. He was a celebrity in Jerusalem, but he still had nothing at the end. He was still empty. There is nothing to gain from anything we do here on earth. I highlighted that because that's true. Everything we do here on earth, it can't be taken with us. All the things that are worldly possessions can't be taken with us. Then I began to think about being wise, and I thought about being foolish and doing crazy things. But after all, what more can any king do? He can only do what some other king has already done. I saw that being wise is certainly better than being foolish, just as light is better than darkness. I have that highlighted. A wise man sees where he is going, but a foolish person is like someone walking around in the dark. Every day in my prayer journal, under the I need section, I write wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Those are 3 pivotal things, and they're 3 different things, and I can definitely do a Maja Speaks on it. Yet I saw that both the foolish person and the wise man in the same. I thought to myself, what happens to a foolish person will happen to me too. So what do I get for being so wise? I said to myself, being wise is so useless. The wise man and the foolish person will both die. People will not remember either one forever. In the future, both will be forgotten. So I hated life. It made me sad to think that everything here on earth is useless. It is like chasing the wind. I hated all the things I had worked for here on earth. I hated them because I must leave them to someone who will live after. Someone else will control everything for which I worked so hard here on earth, and I don't know if he will be wise or foolish. This is also useless. So I became sad about all the hard work I had done here on earth. A person can work hard using all his wisdom, knowledge, and skill, but he will die and other people will get the things he worked for. They did not do the work, but they will get everything. This is also unfair and useless. What does a person get for all his work and struggling here on earth? All his life, his work is full of pain and sorrow. Even at night, his mind doesn't rest. This is also useless. The best a person can do is eat, drink, and enjoy his work. I saw that even this comes from God. I have all that highlighted. No one can eat or enjoy his life without God. If a person pleases God, God will give him wisdom, knowledge, and joy. But the sinner will get only the work of gathering and storing wealth. Then he will give it to someone who pleases God. So all his work is useless. It is like chasing the wind. That is highlighted because guess what? That was pivotal. That right there is telling me that God will use anyone to give me what I need or give you what you need. It just doesn't have to come from a Christian. He will make whatever needs to be done work out in your favor. There is a right time for everything. Everything on earth has its special season. Right, I have that highlighted because you have to know what season of your life you're in. People come in seasons just like flowers come in season, so there is a special season for everything. There's a time to be born and a time to die. There's a time to plant and there's a time to pull up plants. There's a time to kill and a time to heal. There's a time to destroy and a time to build. There's a time to cry and a time to laugh. There's a time to be sad and a time to dance. There's a time to throw away stones and a time to gather them. There's a time to hug and a time not to hug. There's a time to look for something and a time to stop looking for it. There's a time to keep things and a time to throw things away. There's a time to tear apart and a time to sew together. There's a time to be silent and a time to speak. There's a time to love and a time to hate. There's a time for war and a time for peace. All that just has a bracket because it's really just showing you the begin and the end. Does a person really gain anything from his work? I saw the hard work God has given us to do. God has also given us a desire to know the future. God certainly does everything at just the right time. God's timing can be so hard to grasp, but it all makes sense to Him. And this is also showing me that all the super hard workers and that's doing everything in their strength, all that is useless. All that is just like chasing the wind. So that's why I really relax and let God guide me, lead me, take over my life, so I'm not stressing, so that everything I'm doing is not pointless. When you let God lead you, your life won't be useless because He's going to be using it to bless others. So I realized that the best thing for people to do is to be happy, and that they should enjoy themselves as long as they live. God wants everyone to eat, drink, and be happy in His work. These are gifts from God. I know anything God does will continue forever. People cannot add anything to what God has done, and they cannot take away from it. That's highlighted. God does it this way to cause people to honor Him. What happens now has also happened in the past. Things that will happen in the future have also happened before. God makes the same thing happen again and again. This is so true because just right now, as we're reading this Bible, things that happen in Bible times are happening right now. All of this is an endless cycle. The things just come in different forms, but the same exact things are happening. I also saw this here on earth. Where there should have been justice, there was evil. Where there should have been fairness, there was wickedness. I certainly believe that God has planned a time for everything and every action. Highlighted, everything is planned. Nothing is accidental. There's a purpose for everything. I really believe that. Everything happens for a reason. That is my mother's favorite saying, because He knows it from beginning to end, so He knows why everything is occurring. He will judge both good people and bad people, but I decided that God leaves it to the way it is to test people. He wants to show them that they're just like animals. The same thing happens to animals and to people. They both have the same breath, so they both die. People are no better off than animals. The lives of both are soon gone. Both end up the same way. Both came from dust, and both will go back to dust. Who can be sure that the spirit of man goes up to God? Or who can be sure that the spirit of an animal goes down into the ground? So I thought the best thing that person can do is enjoy his work. This is all he has. No one can help a person see what will happen in the future. When you're reading the Bible, certain things you won't understand, or you won't understand where the writer's headspace was, what his point of view was. I want to know who wrote that, because you know they was going through something. They was really doing some soul searching. So as we go deeper, the next video I will tell you who wrote that, because I don't even know. So I'm going to search that. I would not recommend anyone to start here if you're new to reading the Bible. I recommend John, but I want to read this because it's really life reflecting, and I feel like it's good to, you know, end my year off with this book. If there's things that you want to see added to these Bible studies, let me know. I can make changes. If you want to see the Bible on the screen as I'm reading it, I can try to make that happen too for you guys. Yes, I will definitely be back next Sunday, and I know the book is getting real good. Like, it's a real interesting story. Just reading that alone, it could have been really confusing for some of you guys. That's why when I open my Bible, I always pray for the words to leap off the page, for me to understand them, for me to grasp what's going on. So I pray that for you guys too. I will see you in tomorrow's video. I'll be talking about removing idols from your life. So I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. You're gonna be seeing this button video, this nail video. Some great things are on the way, so stay tuned. Have a blessed Sunday.